And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Sporting160EN podcast number 4. And you just heard the first goal of Bas Dost at minute 62 against Chaves, yesterday's game, which today we'll be talking about. So without any further delays, let me introduce you to our panel today. Today we have a very special guest. So Bruno Mendes, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. The dream continues. We are 5 points away, so one can only still continue to hope, which is good.
Okay, that's really nice to hear, man. Leon Interno, what's up?
Hello, everyone. Sporting one's on a difficult pitch, so I'm perfect. We are on the race for the title.
Excellent, excellent. Now our very special guest all the way from Portugal, Nuno Valinhas. How you doing, Nuno?
I'm all right, guys. Thanks for the invitation. In such an early stage for Sporting 160, the English version. So thank you for having me, and I'm glad to join you guys today.
Well, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. It is an honor to have you on our show today. So let's go over the game really fast. I'm just going to give you the lineup. Between the pipes, it was Rui Patricio. Then we had Mizik, right fullback, amazingly, his first start for Sporting Club Portugal. Then we had El Patron Coates, Jeremy Mathieu, and Bruce Cesar, a left back. Then we had Brian Ruiz in midfield, Bataglia, William Carvalho, Ruben Ribeiro. Up front, we had Freddy Montero and Gelson Martins. So, Leão Interno, I'm going to let you go first. Give me a recap of the game against Chaves that we won 2-1 yesterday.
For me, it was a pure display on the first half. Mizic and William played well, but it was obvious that we need a player in the middle to make the connection with the forwards and build the game. Jesus read the game well and replaced Mizic by Dost, making Brian go down to the midfield. And for me, that was decisive for the victory.
Okay, good. Bruno Mendes, give me your 2 cents.
Yeah, so first half, Chaves, I think, played us perfectly because, as we all know, Sporting are very, very good attacking on the flanks, and I think Chaves did a pretty good well defending the flanks. They didn't really give our players too much space. Gelson looked, the most liveliest going up, creating. Bataglia, absolutely sensational. And Ruben Ribeiro, a player who gets a lot of criticism. I think he had a very solid display as well. Second half, we saw Sporting able to change their tactics a little bit. We were able to attack the flanks more, which enabled us to open up the game a little bit more and control the game the way we wanted to. Bas Dost came in, and you saw what was missing. So I'm absolutely thrilled and happy that he's back, because down the stretch with these last few games with the Europa League and as well as the Liga NOS games, it's going to be very important for him to stay healthy. So hopefully he stays healthy and continues to bag in the goals for us.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Within 34 minutes, my man scored 2 goals and resolved the game. That was amazing. So Nuno, introduce yourself now and tell us how you felt about the game.
Well, for those that know me, I'm just a random Sporting supporter. A few years in London, suffering from afar. After many years watching Sporting in the stadium and following Sporting everywhere. I was part of Juveléu for a lot of years, then co-founded Diretivo. But then I got kind of divorced with Sporting for a few years. Haven't been to Alvalade for too much, probably too. I would say I should have been more watching Sporting for a few years, but I was really pissed with the last, actually, and curiously, with the last title we won back in 2002. I followed the team everywhere, so we didn't win in Setúbal. We draw 2-2 against them, and if we won that game, we would be champions right on that game. We didn't, and I got pissed, and and the pissing lasted for a few years. So moving forward, 5 years in London, now back in Lisbon. Game box bought back in Alvalade. I haven't missed a game at home yet for any competition, Taça da Liga, Champions, everything. So hopefully I'm contributing for this title race and all the cups we're trying to win this year. And that's kind of me. Those who know me or those who read me on Twitter, they know about some curse around me watching Sporting every time that I came from London to watch Sporting. So hopefully I'll turn things this year by not just coming from London but living in Lisbon again. But that's in a very brief nutshell. That's me. About the game, I think it was an awful game, but I don't care anymore. We won. That was the goal. We won. It was good to see Bas Dost back in action and doing what he does best, scoring goals and helping the team. I think it's because of the 2 goals, they were so decisive. I think man of the match should be obviously Bas Dost. But a lot of praise for Rui Patricio. That save with the game in still 0-0. I think it was 10 minutes. He made a fantastic save and a couple more afterwards, but that one was still 0-0, and it was a very good save. So the highlights would be Bas Dost, definitely. Rui Patricio Batalha, he fought like no one else. Not really playing well, but he was essential into occasions, saving that goal and giving the assist to the second of Bas Dost, and Matteo as well. He was kind of flawless the whole game, but it was a pretty bad game to watch, and I watch it obviously as always as I watch the games whenever we play away. I watch it really late with the kids already in bed, so it's twice the suffering because I know the game has ended. Probably people are talking about a win or a defeat or a draw or whatever, and I still don't know the game, and I have to watch it. And it's easy for me just to go to 90th minute and see if we won or not, but I still make the effort to watch the game as if it was live. But again, it's kind of a tradition now since I have kids, so every game away, I watch it like that, and we're still in the race, so I'm not gonna change that.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're back in the race. Porto lost against Paços Ferreira in a very intense, tough game, and that was a good thing. As a Sportingista, that's what we hope for, that Porto loses 2 more games actually, and then also Benfica to lose a couple games. I have a couple more questions for you guys in regards to this game. Minute 90, the PK from Coates, he fouls Javin. Guys, Leão Interno, I'll start with you. Was that a PK?
For me, it wasn't.
It was not?
Yeah.
Okay.
In particular, Coates, for me, did a good match. Was decisive in the first goal with an excellent long pass to Ruben Ribeiro. Unfortunate on Chaves' penalty kick. For me, it wasn't a penalty, but whatever. At least we win.
I'm going to be honest. I'll go next really fast. I saw the replay, and to me, I thought it was a penalty because Coates, he kind of pushed him his shoulder. But, that's my personal opinion. So, yeah. Nuno, why don't you go next, Nuno?
One thing is for sure. He grabs him very briefly, so the end is there. There's contact. So there would never be a chance that Hugo Miguel or Fabio Veríssimo, which was the VAR for the day, if there was a minimum contact, and there was one, so we cannot deny that. I understand, or I know very well why they gave the penalty. I think it's too soft. But there's contact, and they saw it, so we cannot deny that there was a contact. But it was too soft for me. But again, there's contact, so there's always a tiny little thing for referees to hold on, and I think they had that. I don't know if they communicated it with each other, the referees. Probably they did, because there's a tiny little kind of second fraction between the fall or the contact and the referee to sign the penalty kick. Probably there was a communication and say penalty, and they reviewed. There was no doubt for them, but I think it's too soft. I think I don't deny the contact, but I think it's too soft. We've seen a lot worse. So, but again, for me, it's too soft.
Indeed, I agree. Actually, I agree, and I just want Brun Mintz to give me his opinion. Go ahead, Brun.
Yeah, so just to make it fast, to piggyback on what everyone is saying, contact was made. It was a soft PK. I just wish when we played Porto we would have gotten that PK too. So it is what it is. Honestly, not surprised by it. It was one of those that could have gone either way, but I think what kind of made it was Squats was kind of losing his balance a little bit, didn't really know where the ball was, and then tried coming back, and then that's when he had made the contact. So it was one of those 50-50s, I guess you can say.
Yeah, well, my question is the following. That PK against Sporting was called quite fast by Hugo Miguel, really fast. Now, do you think the same PK against Benfica or Porto would have been called? Anybody?
Yeah,
No.
That's the main point. That's the main point. The duality of criteria.
It's like what JJ said in the press conference. Marking a penalty against Sporting is easy.
Yeah. Same goes with sending off. So it's becoming easier. If they see a tiny gap, a tiny indication, there's probably some kind of contact. It's always a fault. And the reverse is that for us it doesn't happen, like it was in at Porto with Dumbia and Dalot. And we've seen a very soft penalty as well against Passos Ferreira that fortunately Brahimi didn't score. But again, 2 gameplays and we've seen 3 soft penalties. Only one was not actually signed, and it was in our favor in Porto. So that's pretty much the story.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what upsets me the most, and most Sporting fans from all over the world, that penalties against us, it's like given automatically, but against our rivals, it takes like an act of God. I've seen Ruben Dias doing some amazing stuff, and he never gets called for a penalty or a peak or a yellow card. It's amazing. So moving on. So now Basdor's goal, minutes 62. Was that offside or was that not offside? Nuno, I'll let you go first.
Not offside. To be honest, once I was watching it, I had my doubts, because the replays Sport TV picked were always on the kind of on the how do you call it, on the perpendicular angle, so you would see as if there was a line there, and you cannot see pretty much all the players in the best positions. But the best angle actually is the main one, the one that is kind of the broadcast is being shown. And once you, because I was watching on multi-screen, so I have the ability to go a bit back, like 15 seconds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really had doubts straight away after I've rewatched the main angle. But Sport TV picked always the angles that would give you a bit of a doubt. So that's always as well kind of not surprising. And as I tweeted today, I was watching the game highlights on Sport TV, and And even Sport TV, after I don't know how many hours after the game, after the Juiz final program, after seeing that is not offside at all, even on the highlights, the guy that commented the highlights said, yeah, this chance or this goal has a bit of a doubt, and he works for Sport TV. Sport TV showed the game. They said it's not offside, but still they kind of do the remark, kind of leaving you. If you didn't watch the game and this is the first time you watch the highlights, you get, yeah, these guys were, yeah, this might be offside, and it's not. So I'm glad actually that Nuno Saraiva, our communications director, he had actually a reversed angle image. I don't know who exactly took that picture, but right on the moment, or it looks like a footage. So probably we were filming the game. That's my expectation as well. And we should, if that's the case, we actually should use it more to justify some of the cases we've been seeing. And it shows perfectly. You can see all the players in the best positions and the best angle, and it's clearly not offside. So there's no doubt about it that it's a clear goal.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, I got a great picture, and I posted on Twitter. You see André Coelho, his right foot puts Bas Dost onto the game. By listening to you and Bruno Brito, it seems like you guys, os nossos Portugueses in Portugal, you're not too crazy about the commentators of Sporting TV. So what's going on, guys? You give me a little bit of feedback. It seems like Sporting TV is not Sporting friendly. Is that the case?
Sporting TV? No, Sport TV.
Sim, Sport TV, sim. Sim, Sport TV, não Sporting TV, por amor de Deus. Sport TV,
No.
sim. Yeah.
Sometimes Sporting TV is too friendly. Come on. But that's another story. You want to go first, Bruno, if you want?
Sure. Like Nuno was saying, on the last news from Sport TV, they separated the first analysis, the first impression of the goal, throwing the doubt. And after that, they showed the analysis on Juiz final, and they do not avoid the doubt. Instead of how can I say? Instead of making sure for the fans that the goal was non offside, they make more noise after about that.
Yeah, they made it more doubtful than what it was.
Yeah, and I didn't watch it on SIC, but apparently the highlights were pretty much in the same, or using the same narrative. It's kind of, the goal is, we have doubts about it. It might be offside. They obviously showed the game kind of the way it goes on the broadcast. The replays are always the ones that leave a bit of a doubt. So it's kind of the narrative is always going against us. I'm not saying that it's 100% of the times, but on a majority of times, it still happens, regardless of the channel. To be perfectly honest, there's always a tendency of, let's leave a bit of a doubt, or it's not completely clear. Even if it is, as it was in this case, they always leave a bit of a doubt, because obviously, who's watching the channels they're not always obviously Sporting fans or supporters. So
of course,
if you didn't watch the game, if you didn't pay attention, if you read the newspaper, and it might be a doubt, and Benfica said it's offside, and they watch it on SIC and watch it on Sport TV. These guys were kind of benefited again by the referee, and it's not the case. So I'm not saying it happens all the time, but it still happens far more than we see whenever Benfica or Porto is in question.
Well, that's pretty sad then. I mean, us from here in the United States, like we were talking about offline, we have Football TV, so it's Goal TV. It's in Spanish or in English, and we don't get to hear the commentators from Sport TV. And then if that's the case, it's very shameful. But nothing amazes me with the Portuguese channels anymore. Um, let's move on to.
I can give it. I
Go
can
ahead.
give you a quick example. As I said, I was living in London for 5 years, and I was subscribing BT Sports, and for I think it was since 2015, and not all the season, but like 3 months on the season, they actually bought the rights to show a few games. And I completely avoided Sport TV, completely avoided, because I could record the games and watch it whenever I want. Not that BT Sport would broadcast all the Sporting games, but they would show Porto, Benfica, or Sporting, sometimes twice, or sometimes two of the games, not all three. And I got used to watch Sporting or any football in Portugal with English commentators, and being very obviously not partisan of one or the other clubs. So, and sometimes their comments about kind of the referees and the way the game went is so you almost feel detached from your own reality, because this is not our football. Never in Portugal a commentator would do so good comments. So whenever I have to watch the games on Sport TV, I always feel, oh man, this is not BT Sport. This is really this is really bad. And I actually got in touch with a few of the commentators there, and they were very surprised that, yeah, for them it's kind of natural. Obviously, if you're a supporter of a club, you even unconsciously you would probably push towards your club. But it wasn't the case with the Portuguese league, so they would be completely unpartisan with any clubs. So the commentators were really pure, if you want. And with Sport TV, it's not the case all the time. So yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing when the commentators on Goal TV. Like I was watching the game on my phone.
It's just football.
Yeah,
it's just football.
Exactly. Yeah. And the guy, he was talking about the game, and he was fan square, and I loved it because I didn't feel like, oh, this guy is possibly Benfiquista or Portista. No, he was neutral, and I loved it. So in a way, it's a good thing living overseas, because we have more sophisticated commentators.
Yeah.
So now let me move on to the next play that caused a little bit of among Sportingistas controversy, which was the play at 90 minute plus 3. The PK that was never called in favor of Sporting by Pedro Timba when he fouled William Carvalho. Guys, was that a PK? I mean, we didn't see too many replays, but we got to see whatever we could see. And but to me, I watched that play a few times. To me, it was a PK. Why was it not called? Why wasn't the VAR, Fabio Verissimo, not inclined to call that a penalty? Bruno Mendes, you've been quiet for a little while. Go first.
Yeah, I still haven't been able to find the play, man. I was trying to find the replay because, like you guys said, there wasn't any replays. I don't even remember watching a replay on it when I was watching the game late last night, rewatching it on my phone. So I can't give you guys an answer for this one, unfortunately.
Okay, so Dio Interno.
For me, it was a penalty without highlights.
Okay, yeah, I feel the same way. Nuno?
I actually just give me a second, because I actually found a link for the pen. I was trying to look at it again, but again, no replays, I reckon. Just give me a couple of seconds. Yeah, no replays. It's just the live, but I'll share it on YouTube just for the record. For me, okay, they don't allow. Sorry, they don't allow links to be posted on the comments, so I'll share it later on. For me, again, there was no replays on the live trend of the live broadcast, so the way William falls, it looks like he took a pretty hard hit from Pedro Tibas. So, but again, no replays. I was obviously talking about the game and discussing with some friends, they told me that on Juízo Final they look at the potential fall on that case, and it was a penalty, and they showed another replay. I'm not sure if it was the replay of the main angle or if they showed any additional angles, because they had a lot, because that was exactly on the goal that Bastos scored, the first one. So they had the cameras. I'm not sure why they didn't show, even after the game, they didn't show a lot of the replays and in a different angles, with zooms and all of that. But for me, I cannot be 100% sure because there's no real support, imagery support to tell me that it's 100% penalty. It looks very suspicious. But again, no replays. We don't deserve replays. If it's in our favor or potentially in our favor, you don't get to see any replays.
I know that's, again, it's embarrassing. It's I hate to say, but I was hoping that Portugal would be a little bit more sophisticated when it comes to that, but for some reason, I hate to say it, but some teams kind of control the Portuguese channels, and it's a known fact. I'm not going to say any names, but it's embarrassing. The best player, I'm going to go first. The best player for me was Bataglia. I mean, he had to change from the midfield to the right fullback position. He saved the goal. He assisted for the second goal. He was right on. I mean, talking about a polyvalent jogador, he's taken over Bruno Cesar's title, nickname. I was totally impressed with Bataglia. He had to readjust all the time. Amazing. So, to me, he was the man of the match. So, Bruno Mendes, who was your man of the match?
I got two. Number one, Battaglia, absolutely phenomenal defensively. He was playing midfielder. He was playing right back. He was going up. Never stopped hustling. Never stopped putting on the pressure, as you saw with the second that led up to the second goal. I mean, what more can you say about the guy? He literally plays everything. He can even play backup keeper, as we all saw. Made himself big. Absolutely sensational. It's just his awareness. And another player that I really liked, to be honest with you guys, was Ruben Ribeiro. I think he did a really good job, especially defensively. He was drawing a lot of fouls, which gave us possession back. And then the assist that he gave to Bastos was absolutely beautiful. He just placed it so high and so perfectly, just floated it up there, that we all knew Bastos was going to get there. You float it up there, he's going to get it. So those two players were the most that stood out in my eyes.
Okay, good. Nuno.
I would say Bastos takes it. If he wasn't playing, I'm not sure who would have scored at least one goal, not to mention two goals. So for me, it takes the MVP for the game. A lot of praises for Patricio, especially on that key save on the first half, still with 0-0, and two more on the second half. And Battaglia for his effort, for his assist, he didn't give up on any duel. So, but I would say Bastos. If it wasn't for Bastos, I'm not sure if we win the game, or if we would have won the game.
Well, that's a fact, because as soon as he came in, my man, it took him only 6 minutes to score the first goal, and what an amazing goal. Leo Interno, give me your 2 cents.
I agree with you all. Rui Battaglia and Bastos, for me, were the best players. And I can say that I enjoyed Ruben Ribeiro, Brian, and William. Ruben Ribeiro raised his level on the second half and showed what he's capable of, with a perfect goal assist and calm with the ball on his foot. Brian, for me, is back into his best shape, raising his level, being an important piece for the team once again, helping defensively too. After his initial situation this season, he's revealing a tremendous personality. And William is raising his level too, secure defensively, it was another good game from him, and he was well offensively in the second part.
Okay, great. Now the JJ tactics. JJ played on a 4-4-2. Do you guys agree with that tactic, or he should have changed? He should have played on a 4-3-3, or any other one that you guys believe would have been better against Shops. So Nuno, go first.
I actually missed only the starting 11 with I think it was Mizic I didn't put on. No, actually it was Ristovski, because I hope Ristovski would play on the right hand side. I think it was I didn't want Dos to play on the starting 11, and I actually tweeted about it. If things go well, I hope he doesn't play. Let's save him for later stages if things are not going in our way, and it was exactly like that. I wouldn't see anyone scoring a goal, although Gelson had a really good chance in the first half. So it needs be Dosted to be in the game, and he basically decided the game for us. Tactics wise, it was a pretty bad game. William and Mizic didn't really work. I think there was a lot of miscommunication between what Jesus wanted and what Mizic should have done. Pretty much the whole time he was in the pitch. At some stage, you could see Jesus speaking with Petrovic and Petrovic translating to Mizic for him to go forward a bit. But I think actually I think the responsibility of Mizic playing better or in the right position or doing the right things, it's not only Jesus, because obviously he's on the side, he's on the bench, but William is different from Bruno Fernandes when it comes to giving orders, if you want, and to tell people where to play and how they should play to improve the team. And you can see that we've missed Bruno Fernandes not only for what he plays, and he plays a lot, but actually for the whole organization of the team. Is the coach inside the pitch, and William playing alongside Mizic for a lot of time, things didn't really work out. William was, for me, awful, probably the worst one in the game, and he didn't help a guy that was doing his playing for the first time as in the starting 11. So it's for me, it's kind of divided between Jesus and William, the responsibility of someone new to play at least a bit better, and not to mention that William is the captain, so he really needs to push people to do their best. So for me, tactics wise, I think overall it was going the way that I predicted. Not getting Bas Dost in the starting 11 and only use him if we really need it, and we actually really needed Bas Dost. But again, we played at some stage with 4 new signings, although Montero is kind of an old foe for us. So people saying that we don't use the signings a lot. Obviously, Bruno Cesar was injured, so Lumor had to get in. But we play with more than a third of the team. It was signings in January, so people are not really mentioning that. But we actually use more players and Chaves than we probably use in any other game until yesterday. So for me, that's actually positive. Although we didn't play well, we actually used players, or had to use players. At least some of them could rest, or the best ones are the ones that play the most, could rest a bit. So for me, that's actually positive.
Indeed, I totally agree with you. Yesterday we played with Mizic as a new player. We played with Lumor, as you mentioned. He came in at minute 14 for Bruno Cesar, who played with Montero, which everybody know who he is by now. Ruben Ribeiro as well. So yeah, we played with 4 new players that we signed in January. That's actually a very good point to bring up, because yes, Sportingistas always complain, hey, how come we're not using the new signings? And we are actually. That's a good point. Good point.
And I actually only thought about it after I saw a tweet from player maker PT. It's actually a stat profile from 000, the football platform, and they mentioned 4 new signings in January played at some stage in the game. It's like, oh, actually, yeah, I didn't I didn't really recall to remember that, but it's actually a very positive fact. We use some signings. More than a third of the team was actually new signings. We didn't play well, but we used players. So that's another story if they play well or not.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, to JJ's defense, he didn't have time to train with to practice with Misik.
Completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Rumba Ribeiro, he came in January from the get go. He had to play right away. So it's not easy. We've had so many injuries. People with the fifth yellow card suspended. So it's difficult. And we've been playing every 3 days. Every 3 4 days we have a game, and players are fatigued. I'm not making excuses. It's the reality of things. There's no time to practice. Like Sporting left today. Today, Sporting left today to Czechoslovakia. So, meaning that they didn't practice. So Music, Wendell, Bruno Ribeiro, all the new signings, they have no time to really get to know the teammates, to get to know the JJ's, the way he thinks, his tactics, and all that. So it makes things much more difficult. Leon Interno, give me your 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. Jorge Jesus did the best he could due to the initial limitations to build the squad. Like Jesus said, there is a lack of routines, and we cannot create these same routines doing physical recovery trainings from game to game.
Indeed, and it makes like now they have a jet lag. They got to Czechoslovakia, so the main thing is go to the hotel, rest the players. Let's see what's for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. Then the next day they're gonna get to know the stadium, and there it is. No time for practice, nothing at all. Agora recuperar os jogadores. Bruno Mendes, what about you?
Yes, just to piggyback on what you guys said, the only thing is that I guess one thing I would critique JJ from the start was playing Brun Cesar at left back. I think Lumar should have started from the beginning of the game. I think he had a decent game overall. He was definitely better defensively than he was offensively. Um, as Nuno pointed out, the communication between William and Misic, you could tell, was missing. As you could see, JJ was with on the side with Petrovic, trying to get him to scream out the indications. But with that being said, I think that's also something that's gonna come with more playing time for Misic, because again, this is his first game that he started. We saw the leadership that we were missing without Bruno Fernandes in the midfield. As Nuno said, he's basically the coach on the field, on the pitch. I have some other things that I jotted down, and I think Shavs played us well defensively. Their preparation, I think, was good because, like I said, in the first half, they made it very, very difficult for us to play on the flanks a little bit. But then when Bas Dost came into the second half, obviously we know that changed the complexion of the game. They covered the middle more, so we had the flanks opened up more. So with all that being said, with the more rotation of the players, I mean, I think JJ did pretty well. I'll give him a B plus if I had to give out a grade. And at the end of the day, getting the 3 points is what's most important. But I'm liking that we're rotating the players more because our schedule is going to get pretty hectic. If we win again on Thursday, as we all know, we're through to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. So keeping players with fresh legs is going to be very, very important moving forward for the season.
Yep, that's a pretty good recap. So now let's talk about the referee, Hugo Miguel. Overall, what do you think his performance was? Was it a scale 1 to 10? What would you give him? Leon Interno, go first.
For me, I will rate him with a 4 out of 10. I think he blurred the paint, and that's incredible how the referees signed for the penalty kick against us. so easily, and they ignore penalties for us. I'm sick of our referees, and with VAR, there are no excuses.
Tell me how you really feel. No, I'm only kidding. But yeah, I feel you. What about the VAR referee, Fabio Verissimo?
I don't know if he said something to Miguel, so I can't evaluate his performance.
Is there a way to find out, Nuno, or no?
Uh, I think we won't know. I was trying to think if there was a side of the two. Well, the penalty that Xavi had the chance to score, and the potential penalty on William. I was trying to think if there was any other moment that VAR could actually have spoke with the referee or tell him about it, kind of to change decision. But I think those were the only two decisions that potentially VAR could have intervened. And funnily enough, one is too soft against us, and the other you don't see any replays. You there was no doubt from Hugo Miguel that it was not a penalty, and he was actually well positioned in the pitch. So uh, it's one of those. We won probably because we won. We won't too much of a fuss about it, but it's another one that could have gone a bit bitter in the end for us again.
Yeah, agreed totally. I mean, we won yesterday, and that was the most important. The 3 points, we closed it to Benfica. We back in the race, and let's hope that the next game that we play at home against Rio Ave will be a much better game for us Sportinguises, because it's hard to wait for the goals at the last minute, and you have to have a really strong heart. So now let's move on to a couple more things. I want your opinion about our new players. Misik, how did you guys feel about his performance? Noon, go first.
I again, it was his first game in the starting 11. He played a few minutes as well with against Moreirense, which I actually thought he did well, considering that we were playing already with 10 men. And I wanted him to start against Porto actually, because I thought against Porto we should have um, a bit of a stronger midfield. So I imagine that Mizic could have played, and that's why Jesus would probably pick him to play against Moreirense for a couple of minutes, although we were again playing with 10 men at that time. Um, from what I know, he's actually a good passer. Yesterday, you could have seen he missed a lot of passes, but all the passes were not easy, short passes. He wanted to do something different and put the ball in behind the defense or to either Bruno Cesar or Gelson at some stage. He actually tried to put the passes, not the easy ones. So he missed more than he actually should miss. But he tried, and he's that kind of player. He's not a. In some ways, he's very similar to William, because you don't see William really energetic, at least in the majority of games. Some games he's a completely colossal William, and we know that. That's when he puts his Sir William cap and he does what he knows best. But Mizic is actually a bit of a similar player. He's not going to win a lot of balls on aerial duels. He's not going to win a lot of balls with his head. He's more a ball on his feet kind of player, and he has a good passing if you want. But yesterday, I think it would be good to see William or actually Mizic doing what Batalha does on a midfield with William and Bruno Fernandes, because again the communication will be there. I reckon that Bruno Fernandes speaks better English than William, and that's also something to be considered. And he's more communicative. And William yesterday, I'm not sure why it wasn't simply helping Misic doing what Misic should have done. But I want to see Misic more. But again, probably on a midfield with William, Misic doing what Batalha sometimes does, and Bruno Fernandes a bit ahead of them. I think it would work really well, and we probably would see a very different Misic from what we have seen yesterday. But again, yesterday the team was half new. We didn't really add left backs or proper left backs. It was Batalha and Bruno César, so it wasn't the perfect game to see Misic play. Probably next Sunday would be a very good opportunity to see Misic play. But let's see if he gets a chance again. Probably not, but it would be a nice game as well to see him playing at home, the team more confident, probably the best team playing. So he would fit a bit better as well, because he has a very good passing. Not that he's shown that yesterday, but he tries stuff different from what William and the others try.
Yeah, I agree. It's got to be tough for him because now Bruno Fernandes will be back. But yeah, I agree with you. That would be the perfect opportunity for him to show a little bit about himself. Leão Interno, I'm going to give you Lumore. How did you feel about his performance?
I think he didn't make a bad game. He's young, has potential, and I think he will rise his level gradually.
Okay.
He was better defensively. I think he was concerned about something Jesus should say to him. So I think he did well.
Yeah, I like this performance. I mean, coming out cold like that to replace somebody at minute 14 and blending into the game and gelling with the defense, it's not easy, especially when he doesn't know his teammates quite well yet. Bruno Mendes, I'm going to give you the last name. I would like you to describe the performance of Ruben Ribeiro.
My man, yes. Ruben Ribeiro shut me up yesterday with his performance, which I love to see. I love when I criticize players and then they come and have a good game the next game. So kudos to him. I think when Lumar came in, Ruben Ribeiro did a very excellent job in helping him, as far as tracking back, winning the ball. I think he was a player that, like I said, he drew a lot of fouls, helped us regain possession, was very good going into the attack. He should have had an assist in the first half, but Gelson couldn't capitalize, unfortunately, and he had a beautiful assist to Bastos. The only thing I will say about Ruben Ribeiro is I think in the box he thinks a little too much. I wish sometimes he has opportunities where he should just shoot. So I feel like, have that confidence. Don't be afraid to, shoot the ball at times. Don't always look to pass, I guess. But I think a very solid overall performance by Ruben Ribeiro, definitely.
Yeah, that was a great assist for the first goal. And inside the box in minute 51, he took a shot, and then it was a little bit wide. But yeah, he had a great game yesterday. Okay, so now let's jump into the preview of the Europa League second leg of we played in Czech Republic against Victoria de Plants. And this is the following squad list that JJ took with him. Goalkeepers Rui Patrício Salin and Luis Maximiano, which we spoke about him last podcast.
Yes.
So that's an excellent thing. Defense, we took Piccini, Mathieu, André Pinto, Coentrão, Ivanildo Fernandes from the B team, Lumor, and Ritovski. So we have three center backs, and we have Ritovski that could play the left or the right wing. So that's not bad at all. In midfield, we took Bataglia, Bruno Fernandes, Rafael Barbosa. What a pleasant surprise. I love that kid from the B team. Pelinha, Acuna, Misiki, Wendell. I hope he plays.
Not Misic. Misic is not. No, Misic is not. He's not on the team because he played with Rijeka, so he cannot be with us.
But they still took him.
Oh yeah, yeah, he flew. No, yeah, he flew with the team,
Yeah.
but you're right. He flew with the team,
Yeah.
but he's not able to play. Yeah.
Isn't Wendell another player that they didn't put in the Europa
No,
competition, or am I wrong?
Wendell, Lumor, and Misic as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you're correct. But he still flew with the team.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's to get to know them better, or practice, because it's still going to practice in Czech
Yeah.
Republic. Yeah,
I guess it's a way of showing, how to prepare for these type of games, what the ritual is, how to, so it's always good.
yeah. I mean, you still have to when you go away, you still have to play scrimmage games once against each other. So you still need 23 players to make two teams to play once against another.
Right.
Then it was Petrovic, Jelson, and Brian Ruiz. And then the strikers, we have Montero, Bas Dost, and Ronald Tavares, another player from the B team. So that's great. So now, guys, what are you expecting from this game? Nuno, go first.
Well, I'm expecting to go through. I don't care how. I expect to go through again. Having seen the game that we've seen yesterday, I don't really care how we actually go through. I just want to go through. If things go the way that I want, I think Zen will try. Will make a very strong entrance, as normally they're 2-0 behind, so they probably want to score soon. And I hope we can kind of avoid that for as much time as we want. But I think we won't be very keen on settling the game straight away and trying to score very quickly. I think we'll kind of hold back and see what Zen is actually trying to do, and then try to score whenever we can. But I don't think we'll. Maybe I'll be completely wrong, but I don't think we'll probably be kind of on the kind of expecting to see what Zen will do, and then try to strike them and pretty much kill the game for us. Because if we score there, especially if we score first, we're through. There's I don't think there's no way. After seeing them play in Alvalade, it's they're really bad. They're really bad. We could have settled the game straight away. The game or the whole two games straight away. I think if we scored another one in Alvalade, we would be done, and we could probably manage a bit more the team this Thursday. But I expect, as usual, they're 2-0 behind. They're playing home. They have to give their best. They're not winning as well on their league, so I think they draw the last game as well.
Yeah, they draw 2-2.
So they're not playing that well. I'm not really surprised, but they're not playing really well anyway. And they're back from their winter pause, so that's probably something we need to consider. But I expect to go through, regardless how. I don't expect anything else.
Okay, your quick prediction.
I think I think we might draw. I think we might draw 1-1.
Yeah. Okay.
Something. I'm not sure if we score. I hope we score first, because we'll watch a game far more relaxed. If they score first, I think we scored anyway. But it would probably be another one of those games like, please don't score another one. So I hope we score first, but I expect us not to really push, because we have a key game as well against Rio Ave on Sunday. So I don't think Jesus will want the team to be really on a high level, if you want.
Yeah, indeed, I agree with you. So, Leão Interno, go ahead.
I hope we go through, and it will be better if we win the game and earn more points for the ranking. I bet on the victory 2-1 for it.
For Sporting?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. I like that. Bruno Mendes.
Yeah, I'm expecting a tight game. We're coming off a short week, so I think fatigue is going to kick in a little bit in the second half. We're also without Coates and William, I believe, so look for Andre Pinto to be in the lineup, and he always does a solid job when he comes in. I don't hope that we pass. I expect us to pass because obviously on paper we are the better team. So I'm expecting us to go. I was on record on the last podcast of saying it was going to be 1-1, and I'm sticking with that. Just mainly because it's the short week. You got the traveling. And I think it's more fatigue than anything else that'll kick in. I think if we can get that early goal, it'll be very beneficial for us because we can play and control the game to how we want it to be.
Yeah, agreed. If we scored first, I think the game is a wrap, and we'll actually win 2-3 nothing. Just to remind everyone, Coates won't play, William won't play because they accumulated yellow cards. Also, in the injury list, we have Bruno Cesar. He got injured yesterday. Rafael Leão is still injured. Podence, he's going to be injured for a while, and Dumbia. So those 6 players will not be at all playing against Victoria Plants. Okay, so now let's move on, and my prediction will be 3-0 Sporting. A little bit of bad news. One of our dear Sportingistas passed away recently, Daniel Raimundo. My brother, rest in peace, and I'm so sorry about that. Now we're going to move on to the next segment, which will be asking Nuno a few questions. He's pretty good with marketing, so I'll go first with with one of my questions. I only have 2. Nuno, do you see the Sporting TV being a reality here in the United States and Canada?
Well, we've talked about we had a debrief before the podcast, so we took the chance to share a few ideas. As I was saying back before we started, I came from London back in June last year. I subscribed to Vodafone as my internet provider, broadband, whatever, not TV. And back then, Vodafone and a couple, I think 2 more providers, TV providers, still didn't really add Sporting TV as an available channel. It was only NOS, Meo, and the main ones. So even Vodafone, which is a very big one, if you want, probably the 3rd in Portugal in terms of providing those kind of services, Sporting TV was still not available on Vodafone. I didn't even remember or recall to make sure that Sporting TV was available on Vodafone. But a few days before I actually signed, there was some news that from, I think it was July or mid-summer, that Sporting TV was becoming available on all TV providers in Portugal. So if even in Portugal, after, I think Sporting TV is what now, 3 years, 4 years, I'm not completely sure about when it was launched, probably even more than that. Even if in Portugal only last summer the channel was made available to every TV provider, there's probably your answer. It's probably more complicated than we actually think it is to make the channel available on different platforms or providers. But I'm since day one that I think Sporting, because it's a free channel, it's not a paid channel. Sporting should make all the efforts to make the channel available to all, at least members who pay their membership and all of that, at least to make the channel available either on the website or either on YouTube live channels, something like that. It should be available. Thinking about everyone that is Sportingista, but even more on those supporters that live abroad. It should be almost right for who's a Sporting supporter to have an easy access to the channel, and not via any illegal stream or via any dodgy stream or whatever. It should be made available by the club, either on the website, giving a full official stamp, or either using YouTube or something that make the access to the channel easy. And we will actually talk about, even if it's not 24/7, at least the main games for obviously Sporting B team, probably the under 19 as well, which always is already a good football to watch. The women's team, handball, and whatever not modalities that we have, at least those big games, senior games, should be made available on the website. We have the channel, we have the rights for the transmissions for the broadcast on pretty much all the games. So there should be Sporting should really make an effort to make that a reality for you guys, especially, but for everyone that is abroad. I was in London. I didn't subscribe to any Portuguese TV provider. Whenever I wanted to watch, I obviously had to pick my own dodgy links and whatever. But it would be far easier and far more pleasurable if you want to go on our website, log in, even if it was on a subscription kind of mode, as we have as well with Jornal Sporting. You subscribe, I think it's €20 per year or something like that, and you have access to the channel, to the newspaper on digital, on a PDF every week. So why not think about something like that? There will probably be a lot of Sporting issues willing to give €10 more a year or €20 to have access to Sporting TV every day of the week, every time they want. So probably Sporting is also missing some kind of revenue, not thinking about that possibility. But going back to your question, if even last summer there was still not the channel available on all TV providers, to think about other countries and international markets, it's probably more complicated than that we think it is. I don't think it should be, because I see the channel on TV. Why there's not a replication of that channel on our website or on YouTube live? But yeah. I do like Martin. I do like Sporting, but I don't know that many details about it. But I think it should be something Sporting should really take a good look at. Even for evangelization, if you want, of your kids and your cousins and your family, it's probably the best way for people to feel connected more often than they actually are with social media and all of that, which you are anyway. But to see Sporting play live, and not only football, but hockey and volleyball and whatever not, it's almost you grab supporters from a very early age if they see our shirts playing on TV, or on YouTube or whatever. So Sporting should really consider to improve that area for sure.
Well, I hope Sporting is listening to us, because I totally agree. I mean, I do have the digital newspaper. It's not expensive at all. Like you said, only 22 euros, which was like $24. And I read it every week. I can actually pace myself, read portions of it, and they do a really extremely good job. And they save every newspaper, so you can go back and forth. That's how I got to know about the 22 titles of the Sporting history, about Peruteu. It's a very good newspaper, and it's not expensive at all. If they would ask me, hey, the Sporting TV will be available for you guys if you want to pay $10 more or even $15 more, I would be willing to do so. I'm a fanatic with modalidades. I love to watch a good hockey team. I like to watch a good handball team, volleyball team. That's my thing. I got to watch the whole hockey team that Sporting won against Liceo de Coruña 5-3. What a game! But you know how I found the link? I found the link through a record. O jogo. They had a video clip, and they said, "Here's the recap," and it was actually the whole game. So I watched the whole game, and what a beautiful thing. That's why there's a lot of Sportingistas here in the U.S. and the East Coast. They would buy the channel, they would pay the monthly fee to watch Sporting TV. It's a question of pride. It's a question of living the club on a daily basis, and it's a shame that someone for Sporting is not studying the possibility of looking into the American and Canadian Sporting TV here in the East Coast.
Yeah.
With that said, Brun Midge, do you have a question for Nuno?
Yeah, I got a couple. I got the two from Danny that he wanted me to ask, and then I have mine as well. So let me go ahead and get started. So Danny is a two-part question. I'll start with the first part. And his question for you is, how did it feel moving away and not accompanying Sparting as easy as you used to?
I've actually been discussing that with my wife because um, people say that when you move over, well, if you guys live there on a permanent basis. I move to a different country for temporarily, already with a very strong background of going to Alvalade, watching the games and all of that. So normally the story goes that if you move abroad, you live things more intensively because you're away and you've been to the stadium I don't know how many times in your life, and you cannot go to the stadium every 2 weekends or whatever. So you do feel more, you want to feel more, you want to know more about the club, probably more than you actually want to know here, because it's a given fact that the club is just there 1 hour by car, and you can go whenever you want, and there's always newspaper. So even if you don't want, you end up seeing stuff about Sporting, and you read stuff, and you watch the channel and everything. So being away, you do live things more intensively. And I had that for 5 years. I would watch every game religiously, same way I do now on the away games. Always when the kids were in bed, so late hours, I would watch the game on my own, quiet in my living room.
Right.
But now that I'm back, it's actually got worse because now I'm going to Alvalade again. I do suffer quite a lot. I'm suffering more than I actually thought I would suffer because no, now I'm going to Alvalade. I'll enjoy watching the game live, and it will be great. But now you suffer live, and I wasn't used to that for 5 years. So now I go there. I'm obviously drink my beers and I'm happy and all of that. If we win every single game 5-0, perfect. It would be. I wouldn't speak like this, but it's been quite a very intense, stressful season, as you can imagine. Especially having goals at the 90th minute penalty. It's been crazy. So I think it's a very atypical season in that aspect. Plus, I came back on the first season that VAR is available, so that's another layer of complications.
Right.
So it is. It's great being back, but I think I'm suffering twice more than I was in London. Although in London I thought, no, I'm really living this intensely. Although I'm not there, I can go to the games and being in Alvalade with my friends and all of that. I think I'm really suffering now because I'm really living it again the way that I live back in 2000s and whatever. Not when I was there every single game, away and home. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm jealous because the last Sporting game I went to was against Lazio, and it was over the summer. It was a friendly. I think it was in like 2000. Shoot, I don't even know. It's been too long.
Yeah, me too. It was 12 years ago, and the only time I saw José Alvalade, the new one, was when it was being built. My nada.
Opa.
I know. I'm going now in July, so I'll be there for the Cinco Violinos
July.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah. In July, you'll be for the Cinco Violinos, for the gala, for presentation. So you'll are you staying in Lisbon or not?
No, I'm from Aveiro. A minha esposa é da Serra da Estrela, so But we're planning. She has family in Odivelas.
Yeah,
So
there's no way you're gonna be in. There's no way you're not gonna be in this.
yeah. But the St. Violins is a special mission. It's going to be my father, my son, myself. We're going to catch the train in Aveiro. We're going all the way down to Lisbon early in the morning, and then we're going to spend the whole day in Lisbon, or maybe the weekend.
Nice, nice. Well,
Yeah.
we'll catch up then live.
Yes,
in
indeed.
person. Yeah.
I'll be taking a lot of pictures and tweeting a lot. So
Heck yeah.
You haven't seen the pavilion in construction, but now it's ready for use and completely done. So that's another thing, and it's worth it. It's amazing. It's
yeah, I
amazing,
mean,
the pavilion.
to tell the truth, I've been following the slide. If you Google Pavilion João Rocha, it'll show you a slideshow of every time being built. So that's the way from the United States. I was following Pavilion João Rocha being built, and then I did donate. I bought the 12º jogador T-shirt. I did donate money, and Bruno Brito, he did me a huge favor. He took the picture of my name, and then he sent it to me, and then that picture is in my wall of Sporting. So yeah, that's for the rest of my life. But Bruno, you have any more questions?
Yeah, there was a second part to Danny. He also asked, since you're a man that loves the breaking news, tweets, and all the rumors, what is your biggest desire for the summer, and who would you want Sporting to go out and get this summer, basically?
Very good question. Well, we know that Rafinha is pretty much done, so that's going to be a good addition. But we most likely will probably lose Gelson and William. I think at least those two. And if someone kind of wants to spend 100 million in Bruno Fernandes, I don't think anyone would be completely surprised.
Do you think they'll pay that much?
No, it's too much. It's too much. But probably we will get a very, very high proposal for him. He's doing an amazing season.
Yes, he is.
One of the best in Europa League, and we're still there. He's probably going to go to World Cup, and he's probably going to be one of the key players. So I think 100 million is a very good release clause, because if someone really wants him, they need to pay that. But we're gonna get a very high proposal, probably more than even for Gelson.
Well, what is it? What is it now? Is he like 60 million, the release clause, or
easy? No. His release clause is 100 million.
Yeah.
I think we'll get offers, even if he doesn't go to the World Cup, which would be a crime. I think 50 million would be very reasonable for what he plays and his potential. It's just ridiculous. It's just. Watching him live, it's even more. It's the only player that I keep really. I haven't seen a player play for Sporting the way he plays. Bastos scores amazing goals, and João Mário was great. Adrian, but Bruno Fernandes is like a whole different. It's just class.
Yeah.
I sometimes I don't get ashamed because I'm in Alvalade, so I don't care. I'm speaking alone and saying this guy is just ridiculous. This guy is just ridiculous. This guy, it is just watching him live is just amazing. He's an amazing player. He's probably one of the best signings we had for years.
Thank you, Nuno, for rubbing it on my face. Yeah, watching him live.
Sorry.
We don't have the luxury of watching him live. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes is an amazing player. We got so lucky. That was the greatest deal ever. Yeah. And he only knows how to score beautiful goals. So, and yeah, I have no doubts he'll make the World Cup, because Andy Silva, he's not playing at Leicester. So
it's not looking good.
No, it's not looking good for him. I don't think he'll make the World Cup at all, Adrian Silva. He kind of.
I think he's gonna take. Probably he's gonna be deciding between Renato Sanches and Adrian. eventually. I'm not sure, given if there's no injuries for anyone. I think he's gonna pick one of the two, because one is not playing and he's injured, the other didn't play for half of the year, but it is kind of fresh and he's important. We don't have anyone like Adrian, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Bruno Fernandes play like starting 11. It's just a different level. He's
How
on a
about
different.
let me throw you a name, two names actually. What about o Sérgio Oliveira?
He might be actually called for these next two games we have. I think he's going to be called because he's been playing quite well. And he's been involved with the under 21 for a lot of years, a lot of the years that he can, obviously. I think he might be an option. I wouldn't be totally surprised. I don't completely dislike him. I think he's actually a good player. He probably needs, but the thing is, he's a good player, but he can win the kind of his place against Herrera, not Danilo, because Danilo plays in a different position, but he's only playing because Danilo is injured, not really because he really made kind of a very good game. He actually did well against Monaco, which no one really expecting him to play, and against Sporting as well. So he's actually been playing on a very while Danilo was not injured, he played in pretty much all the big games Porto had, and he played well, to be honest. So I think definitely is going to be an option for the World Cup, and he's probably going to be called now for the next two games we have. But I actually didn't talk about any of the potential signings. I think we're going to lose Gelson, so we need Rafinha will be a very good addition, but we need another winger.
Yeah,
a very good winger, and I wouldn't say a replacement for Bastos, but someone that can do with the same characteristics, because otherwise we change. If Bastos is not playing, we completely change the way we play, which is not bad because it gives another option for the team. But the team is so, if Bastos is fit, he's gonna play 9 in 10 games all the time. So the team is so tailored for him that if we don't have a replacement good enough or similar to him, the team kind of suffers with that. So
it would be awesome if we could try to get Slimani back from Leicester, since I saw he was out on loan. I mean, even if it's just coming in.
Yeah, but I don't think he's playing as well in Newcastle. So I don't think even Newcastle would probably want to sign him. I'm not sure, but I would love to take him back for sure. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
That would be awesome.
There were talks about today. Nani is not happy in Lazio, and I'm not. Again, Nani is not the Nani that we knew. But if we would want to come back, I wouldn't mind. It would solve a couple of games in Portugal, in tight games for sure. It would be an amazing signing for us. Plus, just being Nani, a lot of defenders would be scared. That's something that people normally don't judge. But just being Nani, it's an heavy weight, and people don't feel that confident playing against him. So even if he's not in his best shape ever, and he won't be because he's already getting old anyway. But if there's a chance to bring him back, I wouldn't say no, for sure.
Oh, of course not. He could play 45 minutes the second half, and that would be great. Do you know something? Do you know something, Nuno?
No. I just no breaking news. No breaking news whatsoever. I just read today that people are saying that he's looking for a club, and Lazio is not happy. He's not playing. Blah blah blah. He was injured for a lot of time as well. But the games he played, he didn't really make the difference. So I would be happy to take him back. I would be happy to take him back.
Yeah, without a doubt, I'll take him back, and Ronaldo, of course.
Well, and João Mario on loan, and we go for the Champions League.
And Slimani,
Slimani, Mario, Nani, Cristiano. Who else? Who else can come back?
That would be great. Oh my goodness, that would be awesome. Yeah. So no,
I'll make a note of that. I'll make a note of that. Breaking news for late May. I'll make some notes about it.
that would be the dream team. Oh my goodness. So Bruno, any more questions, or that's it?
I'm gonna give him a break. I'm gonna let Bruno Brito go because I still got a couple more questions, but I'll give him a break for now so he can go over to Bruno Brito because he's been a little quiet.
Okay. So, about marketing, Sporting has been promoting more and more autographs sessions to promote interaction with fans and also to promote new products. It's a good marketing strategy. In your opinion, is there room for improvement in this particular aspect?
I think a major thing probably it didn't get noticed by, I would say, the majority of supporters. We appointed digital a head of digital for the first time last, I would say, end of October, November maybe. We appointed someone specifically to be head of digital. For the first time in the club, we have someone really just doing digital, which is amazing. And since then, we've been seeing quite a lot of good changes. The website changed a bit in the way it works. Social media improved as well. You probably seen the difference in some of the posts and the interactions that we have. So changes are being made in a positive way, but obviously it takes time for a club that wasn't completely ready for, unfortunately, for the digital era. We've been doing an amazing job with what we have, and the indications that we have, especially pointing someone specifically for digital. And from what I know, she's really good. She came from RTP. She has experience in e-commerce and all of that. So from what I know, she's been doing an amazing job. And you can see some changes being made. Probably the most visible face of that job is social media, because that's what we follow the most. But even on the website, on Loja Verde as well, there's been many changes, and I think there will be more and more improvements moving forward. So there's still a lot to do and to improve, but I think slowly we're making the right decisions and focusing on what we should, which is digital. There's no other way around it. So by having someone looking at that on a permanent basis, that's already a very good positive sign. But obviously there's many things to improve. Even if we don't have a huge budget for it, there's creativity that I think we should have more, and kind of engage more fans. And there's many ideas that on forums like this and on Twitter, on Facebook, people tend to discuss. So there's many ideas to be read and to be discussed, and to be taken on board if you want. So I think we're slowly getting there, but there's still a lot to improve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any more questions, Leon Termo?
Just one. I can see on your Twitter that you are fighting some curses. To see if Sporting achieves the most desired.
Not curses, the curse.
Yeah, the curse. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. To see if Sporting achieves the most desired title once again. According to your list, what do you think we need to break down to get there? Or you already think it's like Bologna says, that the presidents of our rivals have to go from this one for the better?
Again, until now, even last week, we were completely away from winning the title. A week afterwards, we're there already again. Yep. So there's so many, I'm gonna call it weird stuff happening this season. we're winning games in really late stages of the games. There's VAR. We've been benefited, not in the wrong way. We've been benefited because it worked. There were already a couple of games in Taça da Liga against Estoril at home. If there wasn't VAR, we would lose a couple more games than we lost so far. And we only lost against against Porto and against Estoril, obviously. So there's been so many moments in this season, and I'm trying to kind of grab them every time that I feel it's something important against that curse or fighting against that curse. The main thing is that I'm back in Portugal. The last game that I've watched live was the very bad Sporting 0 Benfica 1 that Mitroglou scored the goal and Brian Ruiz. So I came from London all the way, not even 24 hours in Lisbon, just to see that game. And that was the last game that I watched live in Alvalade. So hopefully by coming back, by having Gamebox for the first time in Alvalade, by paying my membership fees that I haven't paid for a while because I was, again, as I told you in the beginning, I was completely divorced and annoyed and all of that. And I made a promise that once I'm back, I would pay everything and buy Gamebox and everything. So I'm doing everything that it's in my reach to fight that curse. Until now, we've won a title. Since I'm back, we're still fighting for 3 more. We're still there. So something is going in the right direction. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to win more titles, but the first one is done. And we won in the way we won, with another penalty on 86 minutes against Setúbal and Porto, and penalties, and William scoring a penalty and Brian Ruiz scoring a penalty. There's so many weird stuff happening on our favor that something is working. I hope it's me. If it's not me, I'm sorry, but hopefully it will be me coming back and seeing all those stuff happening, because I'm here. That's my gut. So let's see. I hope it goes well. I hope it goes well.
I hope so too. I think your curse is called actually corruption. From all the evidence we have now,
maybe.
So yeah, I think that has a big part of why we haven't won a title the last 15 years. Now that we know the truth, but it's a debate where we can talk about later in another podcast. Brun Mens, back at you. Do you have any more questions?
Yeah, I do. I got 3. So Nuno, what is the hardest thing in your opinion when it comes to marketing? And what is something that you learned yourself really fast in that, I guess, line of business, you could say?
The hardest thing, and this is not sporting related, but cross-sector, cross-industries.
Right.
And especially in hospitality, which is my sector, with the area or the sector that I have, the industry that I have experience for 10 years or more now, especially in hospitality, but I think also in football clubs. Everything is marketing, like everything that you do, players, social media, the stadium, advertise, everything that it's public, it's marketing. And you relate to that. You might not think that it's marketing, but you're marketed every single day by Sporting. You might not like it, you might not engage, you might not see that it's marketing or think that it's marketing, but it is. And probably the club as well sometimes does stuff that doesn't think that this is marketing. So it probably doesn't pay as much attention or as much detail, or don't focus so much on the detail as it should. Because everything in marketing, everything in a football club is marketing. So, and that, for me, that's probably the hardest thing, is for a club or organization to think like that everything that it does, it's marketing, especially in sports, football specifically, and obviously in hospitality, which is the industry that I know.
Awesome.
And the second part of the question was, sorry, something
that
I said
something that you learned fast, I guess, in your line of business.
well, in hospitality, if you don't sell a room in one day, you don't sell that room anymore, because the rooms are there, but the nights are gone every single day. So that's
Right.
something you learn quite fast.
Right.
Occupancy rate is something very stressful, if you want.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And my biggest question to you, what made you a Sporting fan, and who is your all-time favorite Sporting player?
Well, that's not the biggest. That's probably the hardest one.
The
Second,
hardest question, yeah.
so what made me? It was definitely not family. I wasn't pressured to be Sporting. Pretty much my whole family, especially on my mom's side, very Benfica supportive. Not fanatic, but Benfica fans. They wouldn't go to the stadium. They were not members, but they were keen. And even my grandma and my grandpa, they were very like Benfica is the main thing in the world. That kind of grandpas.
Right.
My brother is a different kind of specimen. He is Benfica, but he had a girlfriend there. A girlfriend that was from Sporting, and she was always she would watch games in Alvalade, so he would join us sometimes, which was a bit weird. But I wasn't really pressured by I wasn't pressured by the family to be a Sporting supporter. I never had that drive family wise. So I think you're born the way you were born, and you're born with supporting someone or some kind of club. So Sporting was the one that I felt. Probably early memories that I had, uh, that I really started to pay attention. Obviously, I was probably Sporting my whole life, but when I kind of early memories of watching players and remembering the names and kind of that, like Figo and Volks and those kind of players were the ones that I've kind of started to be more keen on watching Sporting, going to the stadium with friends or family if I had someone from Sporting. Um, so those are my earlier memories of Sporting, or at least paying attention to the games and to the players and whatever not. Favorite players, very tricky question.
Yeah, it's always a tough one.
I can probably break them down in three stages.
Okay.
So early memories like the Balakovs, the Yordanovs, Juskov Yags, those ones were this is like these guys are amazing. Sherbakov when he played and until that really nasty accident he had, he was probably people don't really remember Sherbakov the way he should, because he was an extraordinary player, really amazing player, to the level of Balakov if you want, but we couldn't really see him for a lot of time, unfortunately for him and for everyone. Yordanov, because he's the Mochila and I love Yordanov. He was just Yordanov and everyone loved him. Oceano, because he was probably the first captain that I remember. Mark Aurelio, I loved Mark Aurelio as well. And that's kind of the early players that couldn't make it to the title. Then obviously 99s, 2000s, first titles that I watched live. Then I really watched every single game live, away and home. Back then was 18 or 17, so I could go to every single match. No girlfriend, no nothing, so I was free. I could probably mention everyone like André Cruz and Schmeichel and Rujors and Acosta. It was such a significant two seasons for us, that all those players have something that we can relate to. So all that's kind of the second stage of my favorite players, and the third stage that I can really relate, the early William Carvalho when he came back from Cercle Brugge. He was like, wow, who's this guy? But he's still one of my favorite players. But I think there's something wrong with him. He should do far more than he should, because he's an amazing player. and obviously I've talked about João Mario as well, like amazing when he played. Slimani, because I completely trashed Slimani when he started to play. I would laugh. I was in London back then. I would laugh with my friends like Benfica and Porto friends, like, man, this guy's ridiculous. He doesn't play, but he fights. He fights. And then seeing his evolution, he becomes a favorite. Ronaldo, that people, he was an amazing player, but the way he gave himself to the game, the way he fought, that's kind of my prototype of Sporting player in terms of attitude. He would trash anyone for Sporting. So I would love to see another Ronaldo back. And now obviously kind of past those, Rui Patrício since 12 years or 14 years is been amazing. And now Bruno Fernandes is like on a whole different. Like I want a Bruno Fernandes shirt. That's the player that I want
absolutely.
a shirt. I want a shirt signed by him. That's the player that I want. None of the other ones. Bruno Fernandes. I want a shirt, and he's only here with us for 8 months or whatever. He's just. I hope he stays for his life. He's not gonna stay with us, but it's just a different class act.
Yeah,
Completely class act.
I think he's a prodigy in the making for sure.
Yeah, you don't want it from Rui Patrício?
No, I do. I want
Yeah,
a
he
shirt,
mentioned.
but now my main obsession is Bruno. I need a shirt from Bruno Fernandes. So if he's hearing or someone, I want a shirt from him. I need to get a shirt from him. It's just, yeah, he's amazing. I don't think we'll see a player like that anytime soon. He's just amazing. He's just an amazing player.
Hey, if I get a saco, uma meia, I'll be all happy.
I would take it, but I would prefer the shirt.
But eu também, claro. Okay, so now before we go into the last segment of the podcast, let's go really fast into predictions about the Sporting Rio Ave at home. I'll go first. I think Sporting will win against Rio Ave 2-0. Leão Interno, what do you think?
The same result.
Okay, Nuno?
If things go well this Thursday, I think we'll have a comfortable win. It's more hope than other thing. I just want a kind of an easy game to watch, and with a couple more goals than we've been having, just to breathe a little bit more. But I think hopefully will be a open game like Porto and Benfica had against them. It's not going to happen. We know that.
I know.
It's not going to happen.
Our luck, yeah.
Yeah, that's bad luck, but I don't care anymore. Let's win 1-0, 19th minute. I don't care. I don't care.
We're used to it anyway, and
yeah, I don't care anymore. We know the drill. We know the drill by now.
By now we know the drill. That's a sure thing. Bruno.
5-0. Bastos gets a hat trick.
Epa. I like that.
Amanita to get close to Jonas.
Amanita. They'll give me a lot of points on my fantasy league.
There you go. I think he's going to show up. I think he's going to get a hat trick.
He's my captain and everything. The points will double. So I like that. So now, without any further delays, Leão Interno, it's all yours. Let's go with the modalidades.
I will start with women's football. The women's football team beat União Ferreirense by 4-0, retaining the advantage of 5 points over Braga. The next game is in Alcochete against Cadima. The under-19 women's football team won by 13-0 against Palmeirense and won the title. About men's team, under-19 drew 1-1 in Alcochete against Benfica and missed a good opportunity to do an approach to the top. Under-15 team won 5-0 against Oeiras and will be in the qualifying round of the champion. Handball. Our handball team won 43-31 against Belenenses and confirmed the advantage of 4 points against the rivals. The advantage will become only 2 points due to the division of points in the qualifying stage of the champion. Extra note for Carlos Ruesga. On his birthday, he was the team best scorer and continues to show great dedication to the club and interacts a lot with the supporters. The team finishes the regular round with 24 wins, 1 draw, and only 1 loss. The next game is against Avanca in the quarterfinals of the Portuguese Cup next Saturday. Volleyball. Our volleyball team won the 2 games of the National Championship semifinal, played at João Rocha against Castelo da Maia by 3-0, and confirmed the presence in the final after the victory at Maia on the previous week by 3-1. Overall, 3-0. The final will be against Benfica. Our futsal team won against Chaves by 5-1, continuing their undefeated championship cycle and maintaining the 6-point lead over second place Benfica. The next game will be in João Rocha against Quinta dos Lombos. Women's futsal. Our women's futsal team drew 2-2 against Santa Luzia unexpectedly and is now in the 5th place with 5 points behind Nova Semente. Our futsal women under-19 team won the championship after beating Benfica. 3-1 was the result. Hockey Patins. Great victory from our team in the last game of the European League group stage, winning by 5-3 after a bad start. The team was losing 3-0 against Liceo of Coruña and made a fantastic comeback, or like we say in Spanish, una hermosa remontada. The team ensured the first place in Group D, avoiding the European champion, Reus, in the quarterfinals. Oliveirense will be the next team that Sporting will face in the quarterfinals. The next game of Sporting will be for the Portuguese Cup at João Rocha against Porto. The team will be very motivated for this game and will want to continue this beautiful winning cycle. Judo. Jorge Fonseca won a medal again. This time, he won a silver medal in the Grand Prix of Agadir, Morocco, in the category of less than 100 kilograms. Henry Gutidze also won a bronze medal in the less than 81 kilograms category. Sergio Olinick was 5th on his category, Sporting Judo in a good plan. Beach Soccer. Victory by 7-2 against Nacional da Madeira, with victories on every game they made in the Marvila League AFL until now. The team is in a good shape. Women's Rugby. The Women's Rugby team won the first stage of the National Championship with 4 wins in their 4 games. And it's all about our modalities this week.
Okay, great job. That was a really great recap. I enjoyed it very much. It's better than Jornal Record, a bola e o jogo, most definitely, man. I'm telling you, this is my Sporting TV. So I enjoyed the recaps you give us every single podcast. So guys, unless you have anything else to say, this is the end of our podcast. So this is the time to say goodbye to our good friend Nuno. Thank you so much for coming to our podcast.
Thank you guys for having me. Thanks for the invitation and for the nice chat about one of our passions, sporting. So thank you for having me.
Okay, Bruno Mendes, see you later.
Take care, Nuno. Thank you guys so much. And to all the Sportingistas out there, there's 24 points to still grab. Don't lose the hope. Let's keep fighting 1 game at a time, baby.
Leão Interno, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you very much to Nuno. Thank you very much, everyone who hears us. And I hope every Sportingistas have a perfect week. And saudações leoninas.
E viva Sporting Clube Portugal.
Viva.
Viva Sporting.
Amen.